Some ceremonies here on opening day at Fenway Park. Ron Burton here will be throwing out the first pitch of the ball game, and the guy catching it is one of the great players in Red Sox history, Jim Rice. Rice, who had almost 400 home runs in his career, 298 lifetime hitter. 8 times he drove in 100 or more runs, and they are dedicating this to the opening of the Jim Rice Field here in the Boston area. But opening day always is just such a wonderful thing. We opened up in Seattle, came home and opened up at home. And all of a sudden now this will be our third opener, and I've enjoyed every one of them, Wimpy.
I have too, Hawk. And Boston always is a special place because it's just got that great baseball atmosphere. I know when you played here for the Red Sox, that must have been something special for you too.
Well, yeah, it was. You know, the mystique here in Boston. Actually, when we won the pennant in 1967, it was for the most part the renaissance of baseball here in New England. They had scuffled for a long, long time, and all of a sudden we had a young club came up. Dick Williams was the manager, and we won the pennant, went to the World Series, lost in 7 games to the Cardinals, but it brought it back, and since that time it has never let up. They have had wonderful crowds and wonderful receptions here at Fenway.
It's always been a great time coming to Fenway Park. So the Red Sox have taken the field. Bret Saberhagen without a sweatshirt out on the mound. It's a bit chilly out there this afternoon. But here is the White Sox lineup. Sox are 2-4 on the season. Leading off at second base, Ray Durham. Batting second at shortstop, Mike Caruso. Frank Thomas DH as he'll hit third. Cleanup man left fielder Jeff Leefer. Maglio Ordonez is in right field in the 5th spot, followed by first baseman Paul Konerko. Greg Norton plays third, hits 7th. Batting 8th behind the plate is Brooke Fordyce, and bringing up the rear in center field, McKay Christensen. Here's the Red Sox on defense. Troy O'Leary is in left field. Damon Buford is in center, and Darren Lewis, the former Sox outfielder, plays right. John Valentin stationed at third base. Donnie Sadler is at shortstop. Nomar Garcia-Parra out with a strained hamstring. Jeff Frike Stanley at first. Jason Varitek is behind the plate, and 35-year-old right-hander Bret Saberhagen on the hill. Looking at his numbers, career 5-8, 3.63 earned run average against the Sox in 20 starts, but he does have a no-hitter when he was wearing that Kansas City Royal uniform. His first outing of the season, he beat the Royals 6 walks and 4 strikeouts. Very typical of Saberhagen when he's on. He will walk very few people, and he has great command of that fastball. Saberhagen last year 0-2 with an 8.68 earned run average against the White Sox. There you see Jimmy Williams, who has done a good job with his ball club so far on the season. Red Sox 5-1 coming in, but they have been doing it mainly with pitching and defense so far. They're number 1 in the league with a 2-point American League, and their defense, they're not renowned for their defensive play so far on the young season. So we are just about ready for baseball. Here's the Huckaroo.
All right, Wimpy, thank you. And once again, right here with WGN Sports. Ray Durham will lead it off. Ray stands in, hitting at 269 on the young year. A homer, he has driven in 3. Bret Saberhagen, first fastball, and that's souvenir left side. Saberhagen in the past, when he was healthy, was as good as anybody. He could put a clinic on out there. One of the few pitchers in the last 25 years who could pitch low and away, low and in, high and away, and high and in to 4 spots. Ray 2 for 8 lifetime against the right-hander. Saberhagen, 2-time Cy Young Award winner in his career, has won 157 times. He has lost 109. There's a shot into center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Now, the last time we saw Saberhagen, the first few innings, he came out, he was spotting his fastball and shut him down. All of a sudden fell in love with that changeup. And the Sox really just whacked him around.
Yeah, they did. That was surprising, too, because Saberhagen has been known to be a fastball pitcher his entire career. Also, Bret has had arm problems, as we all know. He missed the entire 96 season. And you got to get him early in the ball game, early in the count and early in the game.
So good speed on it first. Durham, with 36 steals last year, has yet to steal a base in 99. Here's Mike Caruso hitting at 240 on the young season. There's a chopper. Saberhagen over to first base. Mike Stanley is first baseman. So 1 out, Durham at second. That'll bring up the big hurt. Frank Thomas off to a great start. Frank hitting at .632. 2 homers. He's driven in 7. He also has 4 doubles. In 13 previous at-bats against Saberhagen, Frank has 2 hits. One of them stayed in the park. Takes that fastball up high. These two clubs met 11 times last year. Our Sox, won 6 of them. They played 5 games here at Fenway, and Boston won 3 of those 5. 310 down the left field line, 379 in deep left center, 420 in deep right center, 380 in straightaway right center, and about 301 down the right field line.
I think Bret Saberhagen's going to walk Frank to get to Jeff Leefer. What do you think?
Well, it's according to how he feels, Wimpy. If he feels like he's had good success against Frank, there's a strike on the outside corner, then he'll come at him. I'm sure he will not give him anything good to hit unless it's just a gross mistake.
Well, that pitch right there that was called a strike looked like it was in the left-handed batter's box.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. It doesn't look like he's going around.
No, not with that pitch. First 2 it did.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Thomas. Well, you know how it is. Sometimes these pitchers feel very comfortable. I don't care what your name is. Frank Thomas, Hank Aaron. It doesn't make you nervous. If they feel like they can get you out, they're not going to go around you. Made a good pitch on him right there.
He is staying away, away, away to Big Frank.
Yeah, he's going to bust him inside.
Right here?
Either here or the next pitch.
I hope he tries to trick him with a curveball.
Oh, I do too. Or a straight change.
Yeah, good. That's even better.
No score, top of the first if you're just tuning in. They're going away again. And the count goes full as Jason Varitek knocks it down. And let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Phil Moore, Skip Ellison, and the crew went with McKay Christensen. Susan Evans, our producer, went with Durham. Wimperu went with Fordyce. And the Mongoose, Frank Veracco and I are going to go with Jeff Leefer.
When did you talk to Mongoose about that pick?
Last night.
Oh. Good call. No.
That's ball 4, so he walks the big hurt.
No, he was just trying to ace him on that last pitch.
Well, what you said is he was giving himself a chance not to get hurt and giving Frank a chance to get himself out.
Right.
So here's Leefer. 2 for 8 on the season. Jimmy Williams, who led this club to a 92-70 season last year, finished 22 games back.
Isn't that amazing? They had a great year too.
92-70 and 22 back. First pitch, fastball strike. They tell us Saberhagen was throwing the ball very well against Kansas City in his first start. Went 6 innings, 3 hits, no walks, had 4 strikeouts, and was crisp. He threw that one right by him. So Leefer in a big hole, 0-2. Wimpy, it's not going to be long before this ballpark has got to be replaced.
Yeah. It really does. I'll bet you the maintenance on this thing is unbelievable.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll bet you they spend more on maintenance of this ballpark than they do on their minor league system.
I'll bet they do too. Well, the Sox did. Remember that old Comiskey?
Sox did it. Old Comiskey. She's been a great lady, but the time has come.
Yeah. Build a replica.
That's what I would try. If I were them, that's what I'd try to do. Got him on the inside corner. He just reached back, grabbed another 6 inches, and aced him on the inside. 2 gone.
Man, there's just a laser on the inside. Well, you talked about Saberhagen. When he's spotting that fastball, that's all he needs. You see Veritek pulls this one back a little bit. He just completely ties up Leifer. Jeff could not pull the trigger on that one.
And here's Mags. Ordonez hitting at 250. A homer. He has driven in 4. Curveball low and away. 2 on 2 out here in the top of the first. Valentin well off the line at third. Outfield shading Ordonez just a little bit to the right. Mags in good shape at 2-0. Ordonez has had pretty good success against Saberhagen in 5 at bats. He has 3 hits. That's up high. Turn him loose. Mags a long look down at Wallace Johnson, who looks in at the skipper Jerry Manuel. Wind blowing in from left center field as that's ball 4, and that'll load him up. So Saberhagen throwing a lot of pitches here in the top of the first.
Batting 6,
18 pitches thus far, and he still has to deal with Paul Konerko. Ball off to a slow start at 188. He does have a homer. He has knocked in 3. Now the outfield straight up. Bit of a gap in right center. Durham, Thomas, and Ordonez from third to first. Ooh, he takes a good one. He might not get another one like that in this whole sequence.
Yeah.
The better the pitcher, the quicker you better get him. And as a rule, for the most part, you're going to get a fastball to hit off Saberhagen. He has been a fastball pitcher. We mentioned the changeups that he fell in love with last season. As here comes another good pitch to hit the fastball. He's tardy. And now he's got to battle out of this 0-2 hole.
Yeah, you can't go up there and try and look at a pitcher too against like a Saberhagen type, because as you mentioned, that might be the only thing you get to hit in that at bat, or maybe even the entire ball game, especially in a situation where you really have a chance to hurt him.
Opening day at Fenway Park.
Yep.
That'll do it. Sox threaten, can't score after half inning of play. It's a good guys nothing, and Boston coming up.
Sox threatened in the top of the first inning, but come up empty. And here is Jimmy Williams starting lineup for the Red Sox. Leading off and DHing Jose Offerman. Batting second in right field, Darren Lewis. John Valentin is at third base. He'll bat third. Cleanup man, first baseman Mike Stanley. Troy O'Leary is in left field, hitting fifth, followed by center fielder Damon Buford. Jeff Fry is at second in the seventh position, hitting eighth behind the plate Jason Veritek, and Donnie Sadler brings up the rear at shortstop. Sox on defense have Leifer, Christensen, and Ordonez in the outfield. Norton, Caruso, Durham, and Konerko are the infielders. Brooke Fordyce behind the plate, Jim Parquet on the mound. Jimmy's numbers. Career against the Red Sox, he has won 2 while losing none. And he beat the Mariners his only start.
Here's Jose Offerman, switch hitting DH, and received a nice round of applause. There's Offerman. Acquired as a free agent, signing a huge contract, hitting at .483 in the first 6 games for Boston. No homers, he's driven in 3, but he has 6 doubles and 2 triples. Offerman last year led the American League in 3 base hits. There's a good strike, and the count 1-2. Offerman last year at Kansas City, 315, 7 homers, 66 RBIs, 45 stolen bases. Picked a real good year to have an outstanding year.
Isn't that something?
A little bit low, 2-2. Offerman has faced Parquet twice. He has one hit. 30-year-old veteran. Got him on the outside corner. He'll grab some bench. And it is out number 1.
Well. See, I don't know. If I were pitching today or catching, I might set up just a bit outside.
Yeah.
See what happens.
That's the same pitch that Konerko was called out.
Exactly. I mean, tell you what, you know, it's hard to get to that pitch.
Well, at least he's been consistent.
Yeah,
Duke.
right.
Darren Lewis, the right fielder, off to a bit of a slow start at 160 last year. Hit 268, 8 homers, knocked in 63.
Now, he had a great year for these guys.
Well, they've got one of the best hitting coaches, if not the best, in my opinion, in all of baseball. Jim Rice. He's taking some reclamation projects over here. Guys coming in, career 220, 230 hitters, and first thing you know, they're hitting 265, 275.
That's right. How about Mike Benjamin getting that free agent contract from Pittsburgh? Had his best year ever. He was a career 200 hitter.
There's a shot right back through the middle. So Lewis, who hurt the Sox last year, a solid single to center.
And Darren is a threat to run. He's 2 for 3 in stolen bases.
Number 13, the third baseman, John Valentin.
Here's the third baseman, John Valentin, 32-year-old veteran. That's what he's doing this year. Last season, hit 247, 23 homers, and drove in 73. Good fastball hitter, or was in the past. Takes strike 1. Outfield playing him around to the right. That wind has picked up now, blowing hard in from left center field. There's Old Glory. Decent lead by Lewis. That pitch down low. Count evens at 1. Wendell Kim giving the signs for the Red Sox at third. Like we mentioned, Boston's been doing it through the first 6 games with pitching and defense. Breaking ball low. A 2.04 team ERA.
That's good, isn't it? You look at Valentin, he's got that that approach to hitting, and it's certainly not endorsed by Jim Rice, where he's standing in his normal stance, which is what he did his entire life. All of a sudden he'll get down in a deep crouch just as the guy's delivering. And I don't know why he does it. To me, it just changes the angle that he's approaching the ball at, and a lot of head movement right here. And it showed. 247 batting average last year. He's a 287 career hitter.
There goes a runner. That pitch foul right back to our right.
What do you think, Hawkeroo?
I hope he stays right where he's at.
Yeah, especially against us.
I hope he continues to do the same thing.
Look at all the head movement going down. It's okay to start. If he started from that position, I'd say great, because you're going to get a pretty good view of the ball and stay down. But boy, when you're bobbing like that, that's tough.
Well, his ability is still going to put up some numbers.
Yes.
But in the past, he was the best fastball hitter on this Boston club and one of the best fastball hitters in the American League.
Oh, yeah, he was like Mr. Double. You throw him a fastball, and he'd rip it someplace. He's had as many as 47 in the year.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the first inning, no score if you're just joining us on opening day here in Boston. Good lead by Lewis. There's a base hit back through the middle. So the Red Sox. One out singles by Lewis and Valentin, and here comes the cleanup hitter, the first baseman, the veteran Mike Stanley, off to a big start.
The first baseman, Mike Stanley.
Even 500, driven in 5. Last year between Toronto and Boston, hit 29 homers and drove in 79. Durham over towards second. As that pitch up high. Stanley, if you can get him to hit a ground ball, the perfect double play guy.
Yeah. Hey, he's one of our full figure guys. Has a tough time getting down the line, but he is an excellent line drive hitter.
There's a good fastball strike on the outside corner.
I was talking to Mike before the game, watching him in the batting cage. He's really spread out. I says, what do you think you are, Joe DiMaggio now? So that'll make it even tougher to get out of the box.
Well, what was his response, Wimperoo?
He says, mind your own business.
That's what I
Wimpy.
figured.
One of my former teammates right there. No respect, you know what I mean? I'll tell you.
Jammed him, ate him up. He's going to have to get a new bat. That'll be out of play over the Red Sox dugout. And you see the top of the dugout right there. Fenway Park, home of the 1999 All-Star Game.
I'll bet you they'll put on a nice bash here.
Well, it might be the last one ever held here.
You would think.
Yeah. Oh, Stano's got himself a new piece of wood up there.
It's good right there. 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
Lewis and Valentin at second and first, respectively. That pitch up high. And it's 2-2. So Parquet in his first outing against Seattle went 6 2/3, 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, had 2 strikeouts. 8 and 5 in his young major league career. Just a little too far outside, full count. Yeah, if you can find that release point with that ball 4 or 5 inches off the plate, you got a chance to have yourself a good outing.
Yeah. Might as well try it again right here.
Look Fordyce. There go the runners. And there's a souvenir back and over the roof.
Well, one thing about Boston, they have always been a station-to-station type ball club. You probably see some difference. They've got a few guys that can run, but they've got a lot of guys that have good bat control. So I would expect Jimmy Williams to implement some sort of running game, a little bit more than what these guys have in the past, because they don't have that abundance of power like they used to.
Well, with Mo Vaughn gone, they have to change a little bit of their strategy. There they go. And that'll load them up with 1 out. This lineup that they're running out there is really not going to throw the fear of defeat into your mind.
No. But they are line drive hitters, and tell you what, they keep getting base runners. They can hurt you.
That ball hit hard into left field. Lever's back there, makes a catch. Darren Lewis did not tag.
Oh my! Now they got it. Come on!
Throw the ball home. What happened? Oh, he passed him. Did Valentin pass him on the base pass?
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. Anyway, the Sox get out of it. We'll come back and try to show you what happened when we return. Sox catch a huge break in the bottom of the first inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. Troy O'Leary at the plate. Hits the ball hard in the left field. Now watch Darren Lewis. He's got nowhere to go. He can score anyway. Goes back to tag. Now watch, here comes Valentin. He's going to pass him right there. And at that point, he is out. So a 7-5 double play and a huge break for Jim Parquet and the Sox. I thought the ball was going to be off the wall, and they did too. I don't think he would have lost the count. I mean, the count of the outs, so to speak.
We've seen that happen before, and you see Darren Lewis coming off the bag because he knew Valentin was going to pass him. He tried to help him there.
Greg Norton fouls that pitch away, and the count evens at 1.
An ugly play that helps.
That's the first time I've seen a guy.
Yeah.
That's inside to Norton. Greg off to a slow start at 133. Change up high, 3-1. Well, when the ball was hit, as I mentioned, the ball was hit hard. That wind just howling in from left.
Man.
Knocked it down. That's into left center field. Troy O'Leary. He's over there. One hands it. One gone. And a reminder, Sox fans, ages 14 and under, you can join the Coca-Cola Silver and Black Pack. Kids who join get free White Sox tickets, cool souvenirs, plus they can participate in an on-field parade. Membership is just $15. So call 312-674-5367 for a Silver and Black Pack application. Brooke Fordyce. Brooke hitting at 231. No homers. He has driven in one. First time he has ever seen Saberhagen in the regular season. 1-1 the count to Fordyce. Outfield playing him around to the right. That ball hit hard into left field. Well, there he's going to have to look up, take it off the wall, plays the carom perfectly, holding Fordyce to a long, hard single.
It certainly was. Boy, there was nothing Brooke could do right there. O'Leary was perfect. Gave that little deke at first, like he might catch it. He was digging too. He was thinking double all the way, but there's just no chance when you hit the ball this hard. Watch his contact on the fastball. Back heel off the ground, out front with it. O'Leary with the deke, and boy, he played this carom perfectly on one hop. He's dead duck. He's out by 20 feet.
Here's the 23-year-old rookie center fielder, McKay Christensen. Tries to bunt it, and it's going foul, but that's the way to do it. On the first pitch, either make it perfect or make it go foul.
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen to you is you got strike one.
McKay at 417. Fouls that one back. Pretty good hack right there by McKay on a high fastball. So the Sox, who played the Charlotte Knights yesterday. Boy, what a nice little ballpark they have there in Charlotte.
Lovely place.
Yes, it is. Good place to hit in.
Yeah.
Knights won that ball game 7-4. Chad Mottola, good looking prospect in the Sox organization, hit a 3-run homer in the first inning. Also had a RBI single later on. Had a good time down there with the Hester boys. Marshall and his brother talking about baseball. Lays off that one. Sox got in about 9:30 last evening. So everybody had a good night's sleep. Let up pitch. That's outside. So Brian Simmons homered. Brian looks like he's swinging the bat pretty well.
Yeah, he hit that homer right-handed.
Well, Saratka.
Yeah.
There goes Fordyce. There's a looper. That's a base hit into left field. So Brook will have to hold at second. And with one out, Sox have two on. If you're just joining us, Sox stranded the bases loaded last inning.
We'll take that one. Jammed him on 3-2. There's Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, on his way out to the mound to have a word with Saberhagen.
You know, I've never understood that. Guy gets a broken bat, duck snort. And all of a sudden, everybody comes talking to him.
That's true. Yeah, maybe.
We saw a game the other day. Guys out there gets up a couple of, I'm talking about weak hits. Little ground ball, seeing eye right back through the middle. Didn't go 10 feet on the outfield grass. Broken bat single. And they take him out.
Yeah. Kind of wonder about that.
Jimmy Williams, who just had his contract extended through next season. So here's Ray Durham. Ray single to center field, leading off the ball game. Takes strike one. Ray'd like to have that one back. Oh, 3-0 for the Sox. 0-2-0 for Boston here in the top of the second. That's up high. Evans accounted one. Saberhagen, 157 career victories. And he has suffered through a lot of arm problems.
Yeah. I would have thought he'd have more.
Oh, yeah.
Based on his ability.
Ball hammered foul.
And I know even though he has missed a greater part of almost, what, 3 seasons.
And he also played with some weak ball clubs in Kansas City. Over the years, he has been fun to watch when healthy.
Oh, yeah.
The 1-2 pitch just off the outside corner. And the count goes full. So Saberhagen, 23-6 with Kansas City in 1989. Had some problems in 90. 91, 13-8. Went to the Mets. 14-4 in 94 with the Metropolitans. As that's ball 4. No, Ray is on a late call by Dale Ford. Is rung up. And that's out number 2.
Man, a lot of discrepancies in this early going. Guys looking back.
Good. Real late call by Ford. Here's Caruso. Takes first pitch strike. Well, if you're a hitter and you're sitting there watching on either dugout, you better know that that strike zone is very wide.
Yes. You better get up there.
You better get up there and start swinging the bat.
That's right. Because you really can't afford to fall back in the count, especially with 2 strikes.
You got a lot of area and a lot of ground to protect and cover with 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. You know, from a hitter's standpoint, though, that shouldn't I mean, if you know what's going on, you better go up there swinging. You better be aggressive.
Yeah. And take your chances. Can't be real selective.
Pitch chopped down, foul at the plate.
Yeah, the only time you can be selective is when you get ahead in the count 2-0, 3-1, say. You say, okay, I'll get my pitch then. But otherwise, you better be cutting and slashing. That's why I say I'd much rather have that strike zone up and down. Got a much better chance. When you can't reach a pitch, that's real tough.
Fordyce at second. Christensen at first. 2 out and a 1-2 count to Mike Caruso. On the inside corner, you better be hacking, boys. We'll go to the bottom of the second, no score. Faneuil Hall in downtown Boston. Boy, they did a wonderful job of renovating the Scully Square area. It is now a big tourist attraction. And you can go down there and have yourself a great time. As we get set to go to the bottom of the second, no score. It'll be Damon Buford, Jeff Fry, and Jason Varitek. Buford hitting at .286. Last year, a .282 hitter, 10 homers, and he drove in 42. There's a strike. Buford just stands there. Well, Damon, you've been in center field watching a lot. There's another one. I'll tell you what, if I was an umpire, I'd have a zone like that.
I wouldn't.
I would. If it's a strike, it's a strike, and if it's close, it's a strike.
Okay.
1-2 the count. Oh, you'd be one of those guys who won a 3.5 to 4 hour ball game. So you
I wouldn't either.
You could pull that
wait a minute.
Leslie Nielsen shot on him, you know.
Frank Drebin, you mean?
Yep. 2-2 the count. You'd be moonwalking and everything, and all you'd have to do is have one person in 40,000 give you one bit of applause. And now we're looking
all over.
At a big show. Fouled away. I'll tell you, that was great. Leslie Nielsen,
is he the funniest thing?
Is he good or what?
Yeah, he's terrific. Enrico Palazzo.
Stay out there. Buford just does get a piece of it. There have been a lot of umpires in the past, Wimpy, that have been good umpires. God rest his soul, one of the best was Ed Runge. And I'll tell you one thing right now. If it was high enough or low enough, it was a strike.
Yeah. Well, I like the high strike.
Change up, popped up. Caruso fighting that sun and the wind. He's there. So 1 out, and a reminder that party areas at Comiskey Park, including the patio, the terrace rooms, and diamond suites, well, are great for entertaining clients or groups of any size. So just call the White Sox at 312-674-1000 to book your party today. The Bertucci boys.
Oh, boy.
Bobby and Bruno. Now, will they take care of you or what?
Yes, they will. Best food in the world right there.
Jeff Fry. Jeff did not play last season. '97 hit .312, 3 homers, drove in 51. Oh, was that injury with Chad Kruger?
I know Jeff's missed a couple of seasons, I believe. He fell off a curb, I think one winter. Missed a year. I mean, he's had all kinds of crazy things. I know some guys that fell off a few things. Yeah, the mayor.
A little looper. Caruso's got him. So 2 out to the switch hitting catcher, Jason Varitek, out of Orlando, Florida, and Georgia Tech.
The catcher, Jason Varitek.
Last year, a .253 hitter, 7 homers, and he drove in 33. 1 for 5 lifetime against Jim Parquet. Sox trying to break a 4-game losing streak. And the Red Sox had their 5-game winning streak snapped yesterday. Two 2-0 to Varitek. Wind still howling in from left field. And thus far it has been a factor in this game. Just joining us. 1 out, bases loaded in the first inning. Hard fly ball hit out there by Troy O'Leary. Jeff Leafer goes back, makes the catch. John Valentin either thought it was going to be off the wall or he thought it was 2 out. I'd prefer to think he thought it was going to be off the wall. He passed Darren Lewis for the double play. Full count.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Batting 9, number 15, the shortstop, Donnie Sadler.
Man.
Why tighten it up now? Here's the shortstop, Donnie Sadler. We mentioned Nomar Garcia-Parra has a sprained hamstring, a strained hamstring, left hamstring. Day to day, but you never know.
That's a tough injury too, because you just can't do the things you're capable of doing, especially at the shortstop position.
Yeah, middle infielder's position is very tough. Well, even if it's even ouchy.
You got a sore hamstring. I'll tell you what, that, you know, even if it's not pulled, you got it pulled, you're not playing for a while.
Did you ever have one?
Yeah, many of them.
I had one in my whole sporting career in Cleveland. Joe Pepitone hit a line drive. I came running in, and the outfield was wet. And it was really a tough outfield because the Browns played there.
Right. Oh, it was horrible.
And it had high grass, and I slipped a little bit. And obviously didn't tear it, but pulled it a little bit. And I'll tell you, it was really tough.
Yeah, you can't do anything with it.
I guess it's high. 2-1 the count. Three balls and a strike. So both pitchers, Sox have stranded 5 through their 2 at-bats. And Boston had the bases loaded. Both pitchers throwing a lot of pitches to home plate. Two out walks to Varitek and Sadler, and it'll bring up Jose Offerman.
Number 30, the designated hitter, Jose Offerman.
Offerman called out on the strikes. He didn't like the call.
Offerman already has 14 hits on the season.
That ball hit hard. McKay can't get there. That's going to score a pair. Offerman on his way to third. He will get there, so both walks will score, and it's 2-0 Boston. A close 3-2 pitch to Jason Varitek.
Yep. Boy, Offerman just drives this one. He goes with that pitch nicely out to right center, and that's where the wind is blowing too. Right into that area, so he got some help. Christensen not able to get there, so it's 2-zip Boston.
That's his third triple. And here's Darren Lewis. There's a bunt going foul. Boy, that burns my behind. Got that wide strike zone. Throw him strike 3 and he calls the ball 4 and walks the next. That's his fault. Walk the next guy too. You don't want to walk Donnie Sadler to get to Jose Offerman the way he's swinging the bat.
Oh yeah.
Man, oh man. There's a little looper. That's fair. Mags with the throw. They got in. Yes. Offerman scores. So Boston comes up with 3 runs. Parquet catches a tough break. And it's 3-0 Red Sox. Frank Thomas will lead off the top of the 3rd inning. Boston coming up with 3 2-out runs. Frank takes upstairs. He drew a walk his first trip. That's Saberhagen. High pop up right side. Jeff Fry trying to get those glasses down. Now called off by Lewis, who's there. And let's take another look at the beautiful play by Ordonez. As Darren Lewis hit a little duck snort over the first baseman's head in the right field area. And there he comes up. Lewis with that good speed, but a perfect to Caruso. And he'll grab some pitch.
It's a good play by Darren Lewis, too. You know, trying to get to second base with 2 out is a good play. If you get thrown out, that's all right.
Here's Jeff Lever. He was called out on strikes. That's off the end of the bat. Off-speed pitch. Donnie Sadler trying to figure out the English. Throws him out. Quickly 2 gone. So 2 out to Mags, who drew a walk his first trip. And a reminder, White Sox schedule posters from Miller. Well, that'll be April 20th, 21st, and 22nd against Ken Griffey Jr. Jay Buhner and Lou Piniella's Seattle Mariners will be given to all adults. It's White Sox schedule posters 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Seattle in town. One and 1 to count to Ordonez. Good rip.
And one thing about Saberhagen, tough to get on top of that fastball when he's up out of the strike zone. And he's still throwing at 92 to 94 miles an hour.
It's the best we've seen him throw the ball in a long time. Breaking ball high, that evens the count at 2.
Saberhagen's smart too. When he gets in a situation where he has a chance to get hurt, he's going to get hurt with his fastball. You very seldom see him throw a curveball with runners in scoring position or a changeup.
We saw it last year, but that was an aberration. That's the first time we'd ever seen Saberhagen do that.
You'd have to think that he was a bit ouchy. Something wasn't right.
I wish he'd wear a long sleeve shirt out there, though.
Yeah.
The payoff pitch to Ordonez.
Yeah.
Oh, man. After 2.5, 3-0, the Red Sox. Three nothing Boston here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. John Valentin will lead it off. He had a base hit back through the middle, a single. 3-4-0 for the Red Sox. 0-3-0 for the White Sox. The ball is slicing. Foul. Thank you very much. You can get some cheap home runs right around that foul pole, right down the line.
How far is it down that line?
Well, we walked it off one day. It's right at 300 feet, 301, somewhere along in there. You see, I've seen more right-handers curve them around there than left-handers, hooking them down the line. The 1-2 pitch. That's one of the mystiques about Fenway Park, are the bounces you can get playing the Green Monster in left.
Jeez.
Oh boy. Full count. Little chopper, parquet. Caruso, yes, nice play, Mike. Taking a look at that strikeout of Magzo. You see Veritek moving to the outside. His glove is outside. Now watch, if he's got to move it out like he does right there to get it, and then he pulls it back. And Brian Little and Ford having a little chit chat. And here's Mike Stanley. So Saberhagen has 5 strikeouts. All called.
That's interesting.
Stanley drew a walk, takes a strike. Popped up in the right field. Ordonez. So 2 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And before Troy O'Leary comes up, let's pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN, Chicago.
Along with the Wimperoo, the Duke, Big Bob, Tom Patrick, Ken Harrelson from Fenway Park. Opening day here in Boston. Red Sox played their first 6 games on the road, won 5 of them. As that ball into the gap in right center field. Max coming on. He's there. Yes, nice running catch. A 1-2-3 inning. Will go to the 4. Sox trailing by 3. Paul Konerko gets set to lead off the top of the 4th inning. Boston coming up with those 3 2-out runs in the bottom of the 2nd. It'll be Konerko, Norton, and Fordyce to face Bret Saberhagen. We see 22 in the 1st, 25 in the 2nd. He's already thrown 56. Konerko called out on a wide strike his first time up. Takes it up and in. David Buford straight up in center field. That ball shot in the left for a solid single. Those Sox pick up their 4th hit.
Nicely done. That ball was scalded. The bat of Konerko. As we said, you got to get to Saberhagen early in the count, because if he gets a chance, when he gets 2 strikes to dot an outside corner or an inside corner, chances are he's going to do it.
To dot?
Well, or to come near it. You mentioned 5 called strikes, 3rd strikes. That's a lot for 3 innings.
Here's Norton. Fly to Troy O'Leary. Greg trying to get on the right track, as Wallace Johnson going through a sequence of signs down there. Not a whole bunch of speed at first.
Right.
Pops him up. Donnie Sadler going back. Glasses down. He's there. And right now, let's check out our Aflac Trivia question this afternoon. Name the all-time single-season home run leader for the Red Sox. Single-season home run leader. Jimmy Fox.
Jimmy Rice.
Here's Brooke Fordyce. Takes a strike. Look at a shot off the wall that Troy O'Leary played perfectly and held him to a single. Breaking ball, no.
Well, Fordyce to me matches up real well up against Saberhagen, who's basically a fastball pitcher. Brooke, a good fastball hitter up and down. Drives that ball hard to in the gaps, left center to right.
That changeup out in front, hooked hard, but foul. Right size, wrong shape. Now you got some ground to cover, Mr. Brooke.
Well, he's going to come in off the plate 3 inches or away 3 inches on this pitch. Fastball.
1-2 the count. Here comes a fastball. Nope. Ground ball. Valentin. Sadler up with it. Over to Fry. They force Konerko. 2 gone.
Good play by Sadler right there. Valentin blocked his view, but he had good concentration, looked that ball into his glove, and made an accurate throw to second base to nail Konerko, as we mentioned, who does not run well.
So here's McKay Christensen. Got himself a little soft single in the left field his first trip. Outfield spread out, shading him slightly to the left, takes the fastball upstairs. Interesting, they're talking about when Simmons comes back from Charlotte. There's the let up, the change. 1-1 the count. McKay will be going down, acquiring some experience, which he needs, Wimpy. He needs to play, he needs to get 450 at bats. But he said that very interesting to see. Jerry Manuel wanted him to see what big league baseball was all about. Now he's had a good perspective.
Yeah, and he's done very well, too. Tell you what, McKay, I didn't realize how close he was to the plate until you look at it from this particular camera angle and from our view from our perch up here. I'll tell you what.
He's not real close.
Well, he's a little closer than I thought he was. Got his hands right over the plate.
2-1 pitch. Off the end of the bat, popped up right side, Jeff Fry. He's there, makes the catch. That'll retire the side. Nothing across. There was a hit, no errors. 1 left after 3.5. It is still 3-0 bad guys. Damon Buford will lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch strike from Jim Parquet. Buford popped up to Mike Caruso his first trip. 28-year-old center fielder. 1-1 the count. All the rest of the action around the American League under the lights. Tampa Bay at Toronto, Baltimore at New York. Texas takes on the Mariners out at the Kingdome, and Anaheim at Oakland. 2-1 pitch. Shanks this
Ow.
one. Foul. Konerko. He's there. Now that is getting sawed off.
That is El Shankaroo.
And let's check out our Aflac trivia question. Name the all-time single season home run leader for the Red Sox. Who is it? Who is it?
Jim Rice.
I don't know.
Double X.
Jimmy Fox.
You were right. He was good, huh? What was he like?
Jimmy? I met Jimmy. Jimmy came out to one of our golf tournaments one time. I tell you, you can't believe how short he was. Really short, but he had some wide shoulders. Little double X. That pitch called a strike. Jeff Fry.
He was quite a man, wasn't he?
He could launch him.
How about Hack Wilson? What was he, 5'4"? What about a size 4 shoe? 190 RBIs. Thank you.
Double X.
That's what you are, isn't it? You're growing into.
Yeah, right. Right side, Durham. Nice
Hello.
pick. Yes. Good play, Ray.
Boy, that's becoming common. Ray Durham making a good play. Boy, he's getting such a good angle moving to his left. He's catching that ball in shallow right field. Whereas before, he'd have a tendency to come straight across. He wouldn't have gotten to this ball. Sets himself nicely and makes a good throw to Konerko.
Here's Veritek. He walked. That might have been the big pitch of this ball game. Looks like he had him struck out. Called it ball 4. But then he walked Sadler, and then the triple by Offerman. Base hit by Lewis in the second inning, and 3-0 Carmines.
That's right. 2 out, 2 strikes on the hitter. Nobody on base. They wind up with 3.
That's outside 1-2. Now this is one of those situations right here. Even if he calls him out on a pitch that's outside, he can't say a word, man. He's got to go back to that dugout because he's got to protect his pitcher. So he swings at one out there. He thought it might be called. 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the 5th. Sox down by 3. The skyline of Boston here in New England on a beautiful day. A little chilly. The high is going to be around 52. We got the winds blowing hard now from left field. And a 3-0 Red Sox lead. It'll be the top of the order. Ray Durham, Mike Caruso, and the big hurt to face Bret Saberhagen. Corners in close, outfield straight up. Change up. 1-0. And come right back with another one. He gets this one over.
Good. I think he ought to work on his changeup. Forget about that fastball.
Another one into left field. Troy O'Leary. So Ray now 1 for 3. And a reminder, Chicago White Sox training center camps are presented by Target this year throughout the Chicagoland area. Now this summer it'll be a great opportunity for kids to learn how to play baseball from professional coaches. So for details, call 630-PLAY-BALL. That's call 630-PLAY-BALL. Those are good training centers.
Oh yeah.
Caruso tries to bunt it, fouls it back.
Well, they're the best. You get to learn how to play baseball the correct way. You know, it's amazing. You know how many kids don't know how to hold the baseball correctly, to throw it, to get that underspin.
Wimpy, it's amazing how many young kids coming into professional baseball don't know the first thing you got to do with a baseball when you're out in the field is try to get a grip on it, a four-seamer.
Yeah.
That's popped up.
Get down.
Got some range, but O'Leary is there. And the count 0-2. Talking with some instructors from all 3 organizations, from the Sox, from the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks this spring. And they're saying it was just amazing how many kids they have to tell and go over every day. Hey, when you catch the baseball, try to get a four-seam grip as quick as you can.
Yeah.
They just grab it and throw it.
Yeah, they wonder why it sinks and sails on them. It is amazing. You got to practice that stuff.
Big Frank has walked and he's popped up to right field. And in between innings, it was nice to see the monster,
Dick
Raditz.
Another good-looking Michigander.
He's a handsome man.
Yes, he is. Boy, full head of brown hair.
Yeah, only a few of us know, though.
His hairdresser? I'll tell you what, how big are his hands, by the way?
I'll tell you what, he gripped that baseball and let it go. It looked like a little bitty pea coming up there.
Yeah.
3-1 the count.
You know, I bet he was really fun to hit off of in the late innings when that sun was shining and the shadows were right over home plate.
I told you, in the same ballpark one day, I was with Kansas City. He comes in, bases loaded, nobody out. Strikes out the first guy on 3, strikes out the next guy on 3. Got 0-2 to Dick Green. As that pitch outside, and that's ball 4. Greeny fouled an 0-2 fastball back, and we gave him a standing O. Then he punched him out on the next one. 10 pitches, got 3 strikeouts.
Number 39, the left fielder.
Here's the left fielder, Jeff Leefer. Called out on strikes in the first, grounded to shortstop in the third.
Yeah, Dick Raditz was a Michigan State man.
That's out of play left side. Well, they didn't have the guns back in those days, but
right,
if they had had guns like the ones they have today, he would have probably been up there at 99, 100.
Yeah. That's what everybody says. He had that little flip on easy motion and just got on you.
Yeah, he lost the flip, and all of a sudden it straightened out, and then he had a tough time. 0-2 the count to Leefer. Still throwing 94, 95, but he didn't have that little movement at the end. Stanley playing behind Thomas at first. Boy, young hitters are at a big disadvantage against Saberhagen. If they don't get him before 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a huge strike zone.
And he'll play to the strike zone without question.
He just made a mistake, I thought, right there, Saberhagen. That's too good a pitch with the strike zone he's working with, and he's been using it to his advantage this afternoon. On 0-2, he gave him much too good a pitch to hit. Now they're going to come inside and buzz him there. And the count 1-2.
Yeah, that's where he froze him his first time up.
Saberhagen, 5 strikeouts, all have been called third strikes. There goes Big Frank. There'll be no throw. Frank last year 7 for 7 in stolen bases. Picks up his first of the year.
Well, Big Frank can run, especially a nice svelte Frank Thomas. You would think you got to hold him on.
He's a glider.
He runs good. The big guy. Runs good, period.
The 2-2 into center field. Damon Buford, and that'll do it. Nothing across. Halfway home, it is 3-0 Red Sox.
Red Sox, number 15, the shortstop.
3-0 Red Sox, bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Donnie Sadler, then back to the top of the order, and Jose Offerman and Darren Lewis to face Jim Parquet. Sadler's been to the plate one time. He walked and he scored. Just tuning in, all 3 runs in the second. Bunts it. Canerco's got plenty of time. Picks it up, tags him. 1 pitch, 1 out. And don't forget about the New Era Cap Corner located in the left field corner of the main concourse, and that's open during all White Sox home games. You can find a wide variety of White Sox and other team caps in all sizes. That's the New Era Cap Corner in the left field corner of the main concourse at beautiful Comiskey Park. Jose Offerman, a strikeout and a 2-run triple. He also has scored. Offerman now with 5 RBIs on the season, 6 doubles and 3 triples. Looped into right field. Maggs. Two gone. Yeah, Weppius. A little unusual coming in here and not seeing number 42 in that white uniform.
Yeah.
I miss Mo Vaughn.
Well, we'll see him in Anaheim, hopefully.
I know. That's too bad about his injury going into the dugout there.
First game, first inning, wasn't it?
Here's Darren Lewis. He is 2 for 2 with an RBI. Takes a strike. Mo over the years has become one of my all-time favorite players.
No, Mo's a grinder. Very
he came in, he
competitive.
was very shaky at first base, made himself a terrific first baseman. He's a terrific clutch hitter.
Yeah, he's one of the guys, when the game's on the line, you really want to see him up there if you're on his team, of course.
That gum right. That's low. Yeah, we certainly wish him the best. One and two the count. Another off-speed pitch from Parquet. Jimmy's got good stuff this afternoon. Good fastball. He's got a good breaking ball, but he's been missing low, which is, if you're going to miss, that's the place to miss.
Yeah.
Little number foul. Parquet 2-0 last year against Boston.
Well, Jimmy's really changed a lot in his demeanor. Well, not so much his look out on the mound, but he's working so much quicker than he did when he first showed up here.
Full count.
Staying on top of that curveball a lot better, not striding out there too far.
Ball hit into right center field. Maggs, yes, what a nice play by Ordonez. Beautiful catch by Maglio, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the sixth. Sox trail it by 3.
On today's Discover Card Platinum Payback Playback, we salute the 1968 Player of the Year. He clubbed 35 home runs and filled the hearts of loyal Boston fans with joy. But alas, he finished behind Denny McClain's 31 wins for league MVP. Truly a legend. My broadcast partner, the Huckaboo.
You want my handkerchief, Murphy?
Didn't that bring tears to your eyes?
Maggs Ordonez leads off the top of the 6th inning.
I got a question. How the heck can they give that award to McClain over you? Is it too late to file a protest? That was only 80 years ago.
I tell you, I don't even remember it, man. There's a ground ball to Donnie Sadler. Tough little hop. He makes it. Throws him out. One go.
I just wonder if any of the rules guys are still alive that we could maybe call.
I was just looking at those 3 guys standing there: Mike Andrews, Reggie Smith, and Carl Yastrzemski.
Wow.
Number 14, the first baseman.
I love beach ball.
God, do I hate those things. Look at him. That's going to be on the field in just a minute, and we're going to stop play.
That's the only reason that you don't like him, because it halts play momentarily. Here's Paul
Takes away
Konerko.
my momentum.
He's 1 for 2. A solid single to left field his last at bat. Changeup. Three 4-0 for Boston. 0-4-0 for the Sox as comebacker Saberhagen.
Saberhagen's a good athlete too. He squares up to the hitter nicely after he delivers. He becomes that 5th infielder. He makes that routinely.
And into Derek Lowe. He's been loosening up down in the Boston pen. And with 2 quick out, that'll bring up Greg Norton. He's flied to left and he's popped to short. Change up. Starts off Konerko with a change. Starts off Norton with a change. Tries to backdoor him with a curveball. He misses, and that evens a count at 1. Well, they'll never convince me that first pitch to a hitter, throwing him a changeup is a good pitch. There's another change. Because in that particular at bat, or especially if it's the first time you've seen him, you're not changing off anything.
No. 91 pitches, 51 strikes. Seems like he's got a higher ratio than that.
I imagine this is probably going to be his last inning. Veritek coming back. So the count evens at 2.
Well, you would think.
A chilly but beautiful afternoon here in New England. Have an off day tomorrow, and then Thursday, Sox going to run into Pedro, who's 2-0 this year.
Yeah, he's good.
John Snyder will tee it up against Martinez. There's a little looper. That's going to fall for a base hit.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
So a little duck snort for Greg. He'll take it. And here comes Brooke Fordyce. He rocketed one off the wall for a single. Then hit it into a 6-4 fielder's choice. Takes that pitch down low. So Fordyce so far has been just a very welcome addition to the White Sox ball club. Looks great behind the plate. And I'll tell you what, he swings a bat better than the times we've seen him in spring training and in some interleague play. Better than we anticipated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has been a plus on both sides.
Decent lead by Norton. Change up. This is almost the same pattern that he used the last time we saw him. The only difference was he's gone through 5 innings now. He's into his 6th. Really using that fastball. Last inning he started throwing the changeups a little more, and in this inning he's been featuring it predominantly. There's a fastball. So now Brooke down in the count 1-2. Saberhagen makes you move your eyes in and out, up and down. Breaking ball off the end of the bat. Sadler's got it. Over to Fry. They force Norton. That'll retire the side. We will go to the bottom of the 6th, trailing 3-zip. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-0 bad guys. Jim Parquet on the mound. John Valentin will lead it off. He'll be followed by Stanley and O'Leary. And to tell you about it, here's Big Bob.
Thank you, Huckaroo. Valentin, first ball swinging, hooks this one to the corner. Yes! Good play by Jeff Leeper. Wow. Well, that was hooking away from him. Tough chance for the Sox left fielder, and he got there.
Well, he stayed right with it, and then at the very last moment stretches out just about as far as he can. We mentioned that wind's howling in from left field. And watch right here. The big stretch and the big catch.
Yeah. So very quickly, 1 out as Mike Stanley takes a breaking ball inside. That's 10 in a row retired by Parquet. Strike right there at the knees, outer half. Well, Darren Lewis had that RBI single, was thrown out in the second inning, and he's retired everybody since then. Fastball right on by him. Well, you mentioned it, Hawk. Jimmy Parquet's featuring good stuff out there today.
Yeah, he's got better stuff today than he had against Seattle in his first.
Yeah. Working very quickly. Good fastball. That one is in. Count even at 2.
Well, Saberhagen might be going out for another one. Derek Lowe has set down.
No, his pitch count has gotten better from the first couple innings. That pitch fouled off to our right. .47 pitches is what he threw the first 2 innings. And the last 4, he just had 39, Susie Evans tells us. So that's good production right there. Good fastball, misses inside. So the count goes full on Stano. Outfield swung around the right for the Boston first baseman. Mike 0 for 1 with a walk. He walks again. So the streak is broken. 4th walk issued by Parquet. And with 1 out, Troy O'Leary will step up. Boy, he was a tough luck hitter in the first inning when Valentin overran Darren Lewis at third. That was a double play that would have been a sacrifice fly for him. There's a strike at the knees. And then he lined out to right field. A great play by Ordonez. Sox have played good defense today. That one misses outside. Count even at 1. Boston, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Sox 0-5-0 against Bret Saberhagen. Damon Buford on deck. Well, I'll tell you, look at this Red Sox lineup, a far cry from what we're used to in the past. Pitch misses in. Well, you remember the Freddie Linds, Rick Burleson, Jim Ed Rice. Man. But they're trying to do it this year with pitching and defense, apparently. Or more so, leaning that way.
Well, they always had great outfields during those eras. They had Yastrzemski,
Yes.
Rice, Lynn, and Evans in the outfield.
Ooh.
Not too many things hit the ground.
No.
And they knew how to play the nuances of the ballpark.
Check swing grounder. Fordyce. 1 play is the first, so O'Leary goes down. 2-3 if you're scoring at home. Stanley in the second base. And it's Kids Day, Sunday, April 25th. That's at 1:05. Detroit comes to town, and all kids 14 and under can get pregame autographs. And after the game, they can run the bases, weather permitting. Kids tickets are $1 when purchased at the box office on the day of the game. All kids must be accompanied by a full paying adult.
But of course, all you got to do is put number 5 in there at the shortstop position, and it turns this lineup and gives it a little different perspective.
That's very true.
No Mark Garcia-Parra.
Yeah, he's a great player.
Also Jefferson, who's rehabbing.
Right. There's a shot. What a play by Norton. The throw got him. A wicked drive off the bat of Buford. So the Sox playing great defense today. Boston denied. After 6, it's 3-0 Red Sox. (3-0) Boston, top of the 7th inning from Fenway Park. What a play by Norton. That ended the 6th inning. Runner at second base, 2 out. Look at this curveball scalded off the bat of Damon Buford. A 1-hopper backhand side. Norton, you're the greatest. And a good throw across the diamond. I'll tell you, the Sox have made 5 excellent defensive plays this afternoon. Unfortunately, no offense against Bret Saberhagen. There's a bunt. Saberhagen off the mound. He's got him. Oh, he's a good fielder. Just didn't get it out there towards the line far enough. And Saberhagen pounces on it.
Number 5, the second baseman.
So very quickly, One up, one down here in the 7th. And Ray Durham will hit. Ray singled in the 1st inning, struck out in the 2nd. He was called out, and he flied out in the 5th. Takes the bunt, takes a strike on a fastball. Ray hitting at .269 as he stands in. A homer and 3 RBIs on the young season. Mike Caruso on deck. Tries to backdoor him with a curveball and just misses. Valentin playing in on the grass at 3rd. Stanley backing up now. He's even with the bag at 1st. Change misses down low. So Ray ahead in the count, 2-1. Jam shot, Sadler right there. So good pitch by Saberhagen. And there's 2 up, 2 down.
Number 17, the shortstop.
That's Pedro Martinez.
With that little thing he's holding right there, a lot of them, that ball will swivel. Maybe this one won't, but Johnny Sane used to have something of that nature. They teach you how to throw the curveball. They teach you the rotation. And what they'll do is they'll sit over there, the pitchers, and put their hands on the curveball grip and then just swivel it, because you've got to make you really tighten it up.
I've seen it. I thought that was just a glove pounder.
A glove pounder?
Yeah. Give yourself a nice pocket. Caruso grounds this one foul on the curve.
Well, the hand does a pretty good job there, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, it's not moving. It's not rotating. It's a glove pounder. Or a witch doctor thing. Curveball popped up, shallow right center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Caruso thinking about 2. Goes back now. So Frank Thomas is going to get a chance to hit here with 2 out. So Mike now 1 for 4. And Jimmy Williams on his way out to the mound. So,
well, he made the sign. He took about 3 or 4 steps, made the sign. Saberhagen just looked at him, dropped his shoulders.
Yeah. Well, there's that case, Hawk, with a little looper, and the guy's out of the game. So Saberhagen leaves. We have a pitching change. We'll be right back. Top of the 7th inning from Fenway Park. There's 2 out. Runner at first base. The White Sox trail the Red Sox 3-0. Bret Saberhagen is done for the afternoon. Another great effort. And here's Derek Lowe. Derek, a 3.18 earned run average, 0-1 on the year. Pitched in 4 games. Batting just 105 against him. He's given up 2 hits in 5 2/3. 2 homers. Wow. A walk and 3 strikeouts. So Derek Lowe, 26-year-old right-hander, born in Dearborn, Michigan, 6'6", 200-pounder, now lives in Fort Myers, Florida. 3-9 last year for Boston with a 4.02 earned run average. Big Frank, ooh, sharp breaking ball, buckles him at the knees for strike 1. Frank hitting at .632 with 2 homers, 7 runs batted in on the season. 0 for 1 today with a couple of walks. That pitch misses down low.
Well, I think Jimmy Williams, without question, his thinking was he just didn't want Frank Thomas to have 4 pops at Saberhagen. But on the other side of that page, he made the sign before he got out there and talked. Bret was still throwing the ball well.
Oh, yeah. Saberhagen hasn't given up a run yet this year. 2-1, Frank. a favorable hitter's count.
But there's no question about it. It is nice to get 4 shots at the same guy.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen too often today.
Ooh, curveball. Catches the inside corner. Frank didn't like it. So the count goes to 2-2. Outfield deep, pretty much straight away. Curveball, half swing. Yes! Oh, that was beautiful. Little shank in the corner. Caruso's going to be held up at third by Wallace Johnson. How did he do that?
Fan interference.
Yeah, Caruso might have been able to score on that one with his speed.
Well, it was going to be interesting to see. There he makes the tough pitcher's pitch, and Frank, being Frank, just goes out there, puts a bat on it, picks up his 5th 2-bagger. I don't know if Wallace would have sent Mike right there in that situation. Darren Lewis was quickly over there. I don't think he would have.
Yeah. Well, see if Jeff Leifer can do something. Jeff lined to center field his last time up. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. So 2 runners in scoring position, a tying run at home plate. Sinker down low. Ordonez on deck. Sox with their best scoring opportunity since the first inning.
Well, the Sox hitters are going to have to make a little bit of a quick adjustment right here, and you've got to do it from pitch to pitch because of the fact he is not throwing as hard as Saberhagen was. He does have that quick breaking ball.
Oh, his ball will sink too, as opposed to Saberhagen, who's pretty true.
Saberhagen is more or less 4-seamers, and this guy is more or less 2-seamer.
Curveball. Whoa, ho, ho, 3-0. He walked him. So Derek Lowe comes in, gives up a double to Thomas. He made a great pitch, though, and right there he walked him on 4 pitches. Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, on his way out to the mound. They have a little discussion, joined by Jason Varitek.
Well, outside of Frank, I think we've got the guy who is more dangerous than anybody else in our club in situations like this. Mags Ordonez coming up.
Right.
Mags has really been swinging the bat well. He's hit bullets right at some people in this young season.
Well, we'll see what Mags can do here. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs so far in the 6 games, 6+ games.
The right fielder, Maglio Ordonez.
Mark Guthrie, Arlo, formerly of the Dodgers and Twins. Sure, we can think of a couple other teams. As first pitch to Mags. Oh, big one. Breaking ball misses. Plot thickens. Konerko on deck.
If you're Mags, you got to be looking for the fastball and just hope if he does throw the breaking ball, he'll be able to get me over to try to get a strike.
Sinker misses down low, so it's 2-0.
Turn him around right here, Mags. Reel him in.
Woo! That's down low. Now you got to take one. Especially since he's thrown 7 balls in a row. There's a strike. Take that one again. Put a 4 spot.
Controlled aggressiveness right here.
Yeah. Konerko on deck. Big pitch in this game. There's a grounder. Lowe makes the play. A 1-hopper, and they get out of it. So the Sox, with a 2-out rally, failed to score. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It's 3-0 Bad Guys.
Right now, let's check out our Miller Lite Major League scoreboard. Tonight, it'll be Tampa Bay at Toronto, Wood against Hamilton, Baltimore at New York. Oakland hosts the Anaheim Angels. Texas at Seattle, that's Morgan against Ken Cloud. Over in the National League, Milwaukee takes on the Expos. Up in Montreal, St. Louis at Pittsburgh, Bidenfield against Schurik. Dodgers in Phoenix, Valdez against Reynoso.
Now batting for the Red Sox.
And Hampton against Ortiz as San Francisco hosts the Houston Astros. That's the slate of action on the Miller Lite Major League scoreboard.
We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jeff Fry, Jason Varitek, and Donnie Sadler, bottom third of the order for the Red Sox. Ball hit deep to left. Off the wall. Leifer makes the play to throw to second base, and he's going to go back to first. A Fenway single.
That's the first hit given up by Parquet since the 2nd inning.
Number 47, the catcher, Jason Varitek.
Well, Jeff right there making the good play, not getting caught too close to the wall. That's the one mistake that young outfielders will make coming into Fenway first time, is you tend to get up there too close, and by that time the ball will get by you.
Yeah, Jeff's had a good defensive game today. Here's Varitek. Looks like he's bunting. He does. Back to Parquet. Throws him out. And the sacrifice. So Donnie Sadler steps to the plate.
Number 15.
And season ticket packages are still available. Excellent locations throughout Comiskey Park. Call the White Sox at 312-674-1000. David Lundquist warming up in the Sox bullpen. Hardart Kushner in the background, digging on himself. Sadler takes one outside. Boy, Donnie, you talk about a guy with some range. We saw him last year playing some second base. My goodness.
Yeah, we commented at the time the two best we've seen range-wise would be Durham and Sadler.
Yeah. Breaking ball strike, backdoored him. Well, the Sox have out-hit Boston 7-5. Boy, all 3 runs coming after 2 are out, 2 strikes on the hitter, nobody on base in the 2nd inning.
Sox have stranded 11. Boston has stranded 3.
Jammed him, pulled foul by Wendell Kim.
Well, what really hurt the Sox was Saberhagen had 4 call strikeouts in the first 2 innings, with the bases loaded in the first and 2 on in the second. Awesome.
Yeah.
Tough pitches, man. Tough. If you're a hitter.
Ow. That was jammage. So before we throw this next pitch, let's pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN, Chicago.
Back at beautiful Fenway Park in Boston with Ken Harrelson, Tom Paciorek. As the 1-2, Sadler can't get it. Good fastball by Parquet, right on by him.
He had no chance right there.
No.
Jimmy just reached back and blew him away.
Very strong, and they're going to walk Offerman.
Well, you've got to. He has been swinging the hot bat for Boston here in early going of the season. 6 doubles, 3 triples, 5 RBIs. Hitting at .483 coming in. Even though Darren Lewis has a couple of base hits, and he was robbed of another one on a beautiful play by Ordonez, you got to make Darren Lewis beat you.
Yeah. Yeah, the big hit of the ball game, the 2-out triple. Scoring 2 after those 2 guys walked. Lewis fouled with a single as Jerry Manuel is going to be jogging out to the mound. Well, he's going to make a change. Lundquist had been warming up, so a fine effort by
Jimmy Parquet works 6 2/3 as David Lundquist comes in. We'll be right back with his numbers.
Good job, Parquet.
Older eaters' feet are sweeter, fresher, drier, clean.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now pitching for Chicago, number 49.
Jim Parquet with a terrific effort this afternoon.
Lundquist.
6 2/3, gave up the 3 runs back in the second. Couple of tough calls right there on him in the second inning. And he will give way to the 25-year-old right-hander born in Beverly, Mass, David Lundquist. The numbers on Lundquist. Lundquist with a good fastball, pretty good changeup, and a good breaking pitch. So 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. No runs, 7 hits, no errors for our Sox. As we mentioned, Sox have stranded 11. Boston just 3. We've seen some good pitching this afternoon.
Yes, we have. Saberhagen featuring that good fastball. Occasional, well, he started throwing that changeup a lot more. And he also had a curveball. And Jimmy Parquet had command of all 3 of his pitches as well.
This is some of the best stuff we've seen Parquet have. I mean, he had a good fastball, good breaking pitch, occasional change.
Darren Lewis.
Just that one tough inning.
Yeah. Now we'll see what Lundquist can do here against Darren Lewis. Darren had an RBI single in the second inning. Great play by Mags Ordonez in the 5th, retired him. And he also singled in the 1st, so he's 2 for 3. There's a strike. Boy, Darren Lewis really made some great improvement. There's a guy 30 years old last year. Now he's 31 right now.
That's usually the way it works.
Yep. Just underneath us. So Lundquist throwing strikes, 0-2.
But don't ever get upset about getting a year older, Wemby.
No, I don't. Doesn't bother me. You know, when I hit 30, it's going to be traumatic. But I'll get over it. 268 last year. Darren had 585 at bats. Man, he really stole 29 bases. Jim Ed Rice really got him aggressive. Boy, he got it to the point where he was hitting everything out in front.
Well, his backside when he was with us dropped just about as much as anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah, you talk about collapsing. It was amazing. They could make any contact at all. Because there's a good strike on the inside corner. So nice job by Lundquist, and that'll do it. No scoring for the Red Sox. We go to the 8th. Boston leads at 3-0.
And right now, let's check out our Toyota game summary. 3-5-0 for the bad guys, 0-7-0 for the Sox. Parquet and Saberhagen both pitched well. Jimmy giving up the 3 runs in the second inning. Our Toyota game summary right here. Paul Konerko will lead it off. It'll be Konerko, Norton, and Fordyce, the scheduled hitters to face Derek Lowe. As Konerko takes ball 1. He's 1 for 3. Solid single to left field in the 4th inning. Up and in, and the count 2-0. Don't help him out.
I think you got to take a strike right here. Down 3 runs, and Lowe's control is very suspect. He weaseled his way out of last inning.
It's 2-1. Oh, I don't disagree with you. What are you looking at me like that for? I'm right on the same page with you.
Wow, didn't that scare you?
Yes, it does. You can't imagine. Fouls that one back. That evens the count at 2.
Well, we know if Lowe can get through this inning, we'll be seeing Flash Gordon in the 9th.
Yeah, if they don't score in the bottom of the frame.
That's true. Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 23-year-old Paul Konerko. Bit of an unusual windup. There's a breaking ball. Ground ball to the second baseman. Fry sucks it up. No! Gets away from Stanley. So Konerko will be safe at first base. Looked like Fry threw him a big sinker right there.
Wow. Boy, the first boo-boo of this ball game. It's been a great defensive ball game. Fry gets there.
Number 31, the third
Oh, that's a
baseman.
catchable ball.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Sure, Mike should have had it, but it looked like a big sinker he threw him.
sheesh.
So Stanley's first error of the season, just the third made by Boston. They have been doing it in the first 6 ball games, compiling that record of 5-1 with pitching and defense. Just tuning in, did not hear Red Sox coming in through 6 games with a team ERA of 2.04. Norton, a little tardy. Greg 1 for 3. So the Red Sox so far have lowered that 2.04 ERA.
Oh, man. He's got movement on his fastball. He just freezes Norton right here. Setting up on the inside. The ball comes back and apparently catches the inside corner.
Yeah, that looked like a good pitch right there.
Yeah. He's got tailing action. He throws that hard curveball, too.
Here's Fordyce. Watch out. Berger singled hard off the green monster and left, and twice has gone out to the shortstop. Outfield playing him around to the right. Chops that one down, foul at the plate to even the count at 1.
They're holding Konerko on. Wait a minute now. They let Big Frank Steele play behind him, but they'll hold Konerko on.
Breaking pitch foul away, and the count 1-2. Well, from my standpoint, I like it.
Yeah.
Wind still howling in from left. It has been real breezy all day long. Another chop foul. Three 5-1 for Boston, 0-7-0 for the Sox. First of this 2-game set, first of this 5-game road trip. It'll be 2 here. Off day tomorrow, finale on Thursday. Pedro Martinez against Snyder, then off to Kansas City for 3. As he nails the outside corner. 2 gone.
Number 26, the center fielder.
Great pitch.
McKay Christensen.
Here's McKay Christensen. Okay, a single, popped to second. Then tried to bunt. Leading off last inning, and Saberhagen threw him out. Takes strike 1. Valentin, a couple of steps in on the grass at third. Outfield, swung around to the left. Now with a left-handed hitter, they're playing behind Konerko. McKay Christensen. Takes that breaking ball down low, and the count evens at 1. That's popped up left side, and it'll be out of play. Now 4 rows back. Jam-packed house here at Fenway. Opening day. Well, these New Englanders love their Red Sox.
They do.
The 1-2 pitch.
Ooh. Man. Hey, what, this Derek Lowe's impressive, you know, from a velocity and movement standpoint.
Formerly with the Mariners. That's flip foul out of play. There's Flash with short sleeves on.
Yep.
2-2 the count with 2 down here in the top of the 8th inning. Good eye, full count. These fans have become accustomed this afternoon to anything that Veritek catches, they want to call a strike.
That's right. He catches it. Good enough for us.
Here's the payoff. There's a little looper right to the shortstop. And that is out number 3. So nothing across. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 3-0 Red Sox. I missed Mr. Mullane's math class. Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, Mr. Mullane's probably out looking for you right now, buddy.
John Valentin will lead off the bottom of the 8th. 3-0 Boston. David Lundquist, first pitch, taken down low. Just joining us, Lundquist came on last inning, 2 on, 2 out, struck out Darren Lewis. Valentin 1 for 3 this afternoon. Check swing. Well, he popped up and foul over the Red Sox dugout. And a reminder, April 23rd, 4th and 5th, when the Tigers are in town, all fans will receive White Sox calendars. So for tickets, just dial 312-831, 1 Sox. One pitch. Lundquist, he'll get it and throw it. He'll get right after you. Threw that 1 home run to Mike Sweeney. Threw him a changeup. Sweeney did not miss it.
No.
All speed down low, 2-2. Valentin, a 32-year-old veteran, as we mentioned last year, 23 homers, 73 driven in for Boston. Against a 25-year-old rookie. Takes that fastball just off the inside corner. He loses him. So the dreaded leadoff walk as Brian Ward loosening up for the Sox down in the pen, and that'll bring up Mike Stanley, the first baseman. Mike's 0 for 1 with a couple of walks.
No, that's 6 walks issued by White Sox pitching this afternoon.
Unfortunately, 2 of them came with 2 out in the 2nd inning. They both scored.
Right.
Now Fordyce wants to go out and have a little chit-chat with Lundquist. These are spots right here that over the last 4 or 5 years, Mike Stanley has really been productive. Late innings of a ball game. Smart hitter.
Whoa.
2-0. So home plate jumping around on David Lundquist. And here comes Nardi Contreras. Just a little impatient inside that windup. Some more activity now. Double barrel action for the Sox as right-hander Billy Seamus joins the southpaw Brian Ward. Well, Stanley has seen 2 fastballs up and in from Lundqvist. I would say that David right here has got to make a pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
There's a shot foul. After you've seen a guy's fastball, first time you've seen him, and you saw it twice up and in, you throw him another one when you've got to in this situation right here. Chances are they're going to have a pretty good hack at it.
Yeah. Especially with Stanley, if you throw it out over the plate, he's liable to gap one somewhere.
Same situation as it was 2-0. Checks it up, fouls it off, and Lundqvist catches a break right there.
Yeah, I'm surprised Valentin's not off on 3-2 with nobody out.
That was 3-1.
Well, even 3-1.
Well, some guys just don't do it. Other guys do.
I mean, he should be off right here.
He does not go. So 2 walks, and here comes the skipper, Jerry Manuel. David Lundqvist has walked. Valentin, Stanley, he'll depart, and we'll be back to tell you about Brian Ward. Brian Ward comes on here in the bottom of the 8th inning in a 2-on nobody out jam. Troy O'Leary will be the hitter. Seamus continues to throw for the Sox as the corner's in close. Pitch taken for a strike.
Brian appearing in his 4th game, 3 1/3 innings, 4 hits. He's given up a homer, and he has struck out 4.
Jimmy Williams not electing to bunt right here with a left-hander against the left-hander, and the count 0-2. O'Leary 0 for 3 this afternoon, but in the first inning with the bases loaded, 1 out, hit a hard fly ball that the wind knocked down. Leefer made the catch. Darren Lewis was at third. Valentin was the second. Valentin passed Darren Lewis for the double play to get the Sox out of a first inning jam. That ball hit deep. He made a bad pitch on him way back. You can put it on the board. A 3-run homer on an 0-2 pitch from Brian Ward, and it's 6-0 Boston. Like a hanger, Whippy.
Oh, it was a hanger. And I'm way out in front of the first 2 pitches because basically of the location, but right there, that was center cut. Take another look at it. Just a spiral over the middle of the plate. I'm sure O'Leary is as surprised as anyone to get that pitch.
There's a shot right to Norton off the bat of Damon Buford. 1 out. Well, that's one thing you cannot do in that situation. Get a guy 0-2 and then throw him a center cut hanger.
Yeah. Well, so walks have been a major part of this ball game. 4 of them have scored.
There's Jeff Fry. He's 1 for 3. 6-6-1 for Boston. 0-7-0 for the Sox. Sox have had their opportunities this afternoon. 12 runners stranded. Ray is there, bobbles it.
They're going to give Fry a base hit on this one.
Number 47, catcher, Jason Veritek.
I'm sure Ray Durham will tell you that he should have made this play. Just took his eye off it for a second.
Here's Veritek. He has walked, struck out, and has a sacrifice bunt. Takes ball one. Now the Sox came out of spring training. Opened up the season at the King Dome. Won the first 2 ball games. Really playing crisp baseball. Came back home, opened up the Comiskey Park opener with the Kansas City Royals, and first 2 games there really played bad. Third game, just a good game. Baldwin gave up 3 solo homers. We got beat 3-1. As that's back through the middle, taking Caruso right to the bag, steps on it, and he'll turn it over. But the damage is done. The 3-run homer on an 0-2 hanger. And we'll go to the 9th. Boston by a half a dozen. Six nothing Boston here in the top of the 9th inning. Troy O'Leary cranked out a 3-run homer. You see Boston with 3 in the second. Sox, as we mentioned, have stranded a dozen on the base paths this afternoon. And a pitching change, Wimpy.
Mark Guthrie, former Twin and Dodger, comes to work. The 3rd Boston pitcher of the afternoon, 34-year-old left-hander, 6'4", 200-pounder from Buffalo, New York. He has given up nada in 3 games. 3 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. Wow. Last year he was with the Dodgers. 2-1, a 3.50 earned run average, appeared in 53 ball games. 56 hits allowed in 54 innings of work. So good acquisition.
Ray Durham, the top of the order, will lead it off. Ray 1 for 4, had a first inning single. First pitch strike. Guthrie with that funky motion. 59-footer. When he was in that Twin uniform, we saw him when he was pretty good sometimes. We saw him when he couldn't get any of our guys out.
Yeah.
Ball hit well into right field, but Darren Lewis is there.
Number 17, the shortstop.
Here's Mike Caruso. Mike 1 for 4.
Caruso.
And a reminder, White Sox baseball on WGN has been produced by Susan Evans, directed by Phil Moore, Skip Ellison. Our associate producer is Matt Luke. As there's a strike.
Luke.
And the executive producer of WGN Sports is Bob Vorwall.
Yeah, gun it, Luke.
He's done. Up the middle, but Jeff Fry is there to suck it up and throw him out. So the Sox, with 1 out, of going down to their 5th straight defeat. After starting off the season 2-0. We're talking about how some guys, Wimpy, played a lot better with the single-deck stadiums. Season starts, you get the double-deckers. Frank pops it up.
Get out of here.
Frank is 1 for 2, a couple of walks and a double.
Well, got to regroup, got a day to do that, but then it's not going to be very easy the next ball game against Pedro Martinez, who is already 2-0 on the year. How'd he do that? He's pitching every other game.
You might think that he possibly could start off 2-0. Sox down to their last bullet. No balls, 2 strikes. There's 27-year-old right-hander.
He's a dandy.
He's something. Run it up there when he wants to. 94, 95.
Yeah, great command. Now they might have it. Well, they will have his brother, I guess, Ramon, who's been an excellent pitcher for the Dodgers.
Great changeup. One of the best changeups in all of baseball.
Oh yeah,
if not the best.
now you throw that to complement a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. That's pretty good.
Frank just does fight it off. That's low, and the count evens at 2. Three in the second, 3 in the 8th. Hits are even, but that has not been the story. Ground ball to the shortstop. Donnie Sadler up with it right over the top.
No.
Close play at first. He calls him out. Frank thought he had it beat, and this ball game is over. So the Red Sox improve their record to 6-1, while the Sox lose their 5th in a row. They fall to 2-5. Boston wins it 6-0, and we'll be back to wrap it up right after this.